Welcome back, Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We got Bryant Falconer, co-host extraordinaire. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing good. That extraordinary is too much.
Too much? You need me to find a different word?
Yeah, something a little bit more humble. A little bit smaller. I'm
extraordinaire. You are
humble.
Extraordinaire.
Humble.
Oh, man.
I'm just
you know what?
dude.
You are a regular dude, but
Yeah.
that's why you're the extraordinaire.
Nah, bro. Nope. Not happening.
Not working for
Nope.
you. All right, I'll come up with something new.
It's a lot of responsibility that comes behind extraordinary. I walk in all normal. They're like, wait a minute. We went to that thing in Fort Worth. And Dan was like, you look different in film. I was like, what? He said, you're kind of dressier. I was like, oh, Rob didn't tell me what to wear today. He was expecting something else, and
I didn't think
t-shirt
I needed to tell you.
T-shirt and a baseball cap.
I'm just sweats.
I did have on sweatpants, didn't I? I had on a black sweatpants.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was an event. It wasn't a swap meet.
It was at a swap meet.
So, anyway, what are you smoking tonight?
Nothing.
Oh, man. You know what? I feel bad with someone else because I told him not to light one up because I have a gift for him. And that's what the show is about tonight.
Yes.
The gift of giving cigars.
Ooh.
I mean, and it's one thing just to be like, oh, man, I like this stick. Try it out.
Yeah.
But when you want to give a gift to someone, it takes a little thought process behind it. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I could. Now, wait a minute.
You did.
Let me just tell you.
Not you
before
could. You
we
did.
started the show, I said, I got you a gift. And he goes, oh, no, I can't smoke another dog rocket.
Not today.
That would not be a gift. That would be a gag.
Yeah, it's still a G.
Not that I haven't done it before once or twice. But anyway, no, I got you a gift, man.
All right.
And, I thought about what you would like
Okay.
while I was gone.
While you were gone.
I went out of town. And I'll tell you, that'll be another little bit later. I'll tell you about going out of
Gotcha.
town this weekend.
Gotcha.
But I was at a cigar shop and I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick up Bryant something.
Wow.
It was Father's Day. And I thought, So anyway, I was looking around in there and I saw a few cigars that was like, that'd be good. That'd be good. That'd be good. And then I saw a Padron 1964. And I was like, I would love to have one of those.
That would be good for me.
So I bought that for myself.
I got you.
But
that was my gift to me.
Because here's the thing. If I have the opportunity to buy you a gift, would you rather have a really good stick that you can get anytime, or would you like me to get a stick that would blow your freaking mind and you can't find them?
Yeah, blow my freaking
Yeah, let's
mind.
do that right now.
Uh-oh. Lord be with me. Fans be with me. Everybody be with me. We know who we're dealing with right now. Not right now, right now. And then he turned around so I couldn't even see it come out of your door's open.
Thank you. Usually I hear people say your fly's open.
No, your door's open.
All right. You ready for this one,
Yes,
bro?
sir. Yes, sir. I feel it. I know what it is. Yes, sir.
You know what? I was like, bam.
CAO, baby. That basin. When I felt, I was like, oh, I know
You were
that.
like, that ain't a band.
Nope, I know this.
That's a rope.
Oh, most definitely.
Little Amazon basin for you,
greatest,
bro.
The greatest.
And so I knew you would enjoy that. And it's like, dude, I could have got you a 1964, but I think you'd rather have that.
I would.
Because you can find a 1964.
But I can't find these anymore.
And I'm going to smoke a new cigar that I've never smoked before. What do you need? A cutter?
Cutter and a lighter.
There you go. Well, we got one cutter, but we have several lighters. I'll give you the...
Even my old...
Hey, my brother had that, and when I was in Lubbock, he gave it back to me.
So it left with your brother?
No, it left with me, and I left it in Lubbock months ago, like in October.
I was like, man, where's my lighter?
I left your lighter
in
Lubbock back in October. You thought that lighter was gone.
I'm like, well, maybe this is what was taking its place. And I was like, and then Zaka was like, no, I bought that. I gave that to you all for the shed. I was like, dog.
No bullshit. He gave that to me.
He said he sat right there in the chair and said
he might have changed the story just to make you happy.
So that's why I brought it back.
But in the mail, it was addressed Rob Jones.
See, that's the problem.
So I'm smoking a cigar I've never smoked before, but I've been intrigued about them. You just never see them anywhere. And the name of the cigar is the DBL Maduro, the Extra Viejo.
Extra Viejo.
Double Prensado. Now, have you ever seen that cigar?
I've never seen that.
It's very rare, but I've read a lot on these, and, I just never have come across them. But I went by Smoker's Haven in Lubbock. If you guys know John Curtis, dude runs a badass shop. Good people. And the only thing I do have a gripe about the Smoker's Haven.
What's that?
They close too early.
Oh, okay.
Their normal close time is at 6 p.m. And I didn't get into town until 7:30. Me and Tim were going to go hang out at the cigar shop.
Every day, 6 p.m.?
Yeah. Wow. Now, depending on who's working, sometimes they'll let it go, a couple of hours more or something. I don't know. But, yeah, thanks for the cutter, bud. So, anyway, I went in there, and I told them, of course, great to see them as always. But they had a stick that I knew you wanted.
Oh, yes.
And they had a stick that I have been really wanting to try. See, that's a good looking cigar.
It is. Box pressed.
Box press.
What's the Vito?
It says a double Prensado.
Bro, double Prensado.
So, to me, it looks like a Toro box press. Because, if it wasn't box press, I'd say that was probably about a 56. Mm-hmm. Being a box press, it's more like a 54.7.
54.7. 8993.
Pull out my mic check.
That's what it is.
So, how was your weekend, man?
Man, my weekend was great, man. My wife, it was Father's Day weekend, and she took care of me. I could not say anything, but we went to Plano.
Wow.
She told me. She said somebody told me it's a guy that used to go to the church that smokes cigars. He lives in the DFW now, and he's like, to surprise your husband, take him here. And he said it was called the Colony. And it's a cigar shop. And I was like, I've never heard of that.
It's in the Colony?
Yeah.
Okay. My wife used to work in the Colony.
But we get there to the address, and guess what it was?
Barn.
Cigar International.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. I was like,
oh, I'm not thinking the Colony. I'm thinking down south around Valley Ranch. You went up to the Colony. Yeah, Cigar International. How was that?
It was packed. Too many people. And I was like, I ain't going in there. And she's like, huh? I said, nah. That's not my type of atmosphere.
That is Target.
Yeah. I said Walmart. I said, that's Walmart for cigars. She looked at me. She like, what? I said, that is Walmart for cigars.
Now, I've never been there, but I can imagine it was not a home shop.
No. And then they have chairs and tables outside, and it was about 50 people outside.
Wasn't it like about 1,000,000 degrees?
Yes. And it was... The parking lot was full, and it was people just walking. I was like, man, I'm not, nah. I don't do supermarkets. I don't do chain stores, and I'm not going to do that. And she's like, I said, thank you, but no thank you. So then we went to Addison, Texas.
Yeah.
And it's this place called Baker's House that makes St. Louis food. St. Louis food.
Is it an older woman that owns the place?
It's a guy, an older guy. And it's some young guys, and they all from St. Louis, but they live in Addison, the DFW now. And I got stuff that is from home, fried rice that is dark, no peas and carrots, rib tip sandwich. Oh, God, man, that meat was falling off the little gristles. I was like, we on the way back, and I'm eating and I'm licking my fingers, and I don't want to touch the steering wheel. I'm just like, I said, we need to pull over. She's like, yeah. It was just Sunday was amazing, man.
That's awesome.
That
So
was
did y'all
amazing.
drive up there and drive back in the same day? Just made a day of it.
Made a day of it.
Awesome,
It
man.
was great, dude. It was great.
So for my weekend, me and my wife went down or up to Lubbock. And because, my youngest brother and his wife just had their third baby. Yeah. And so we went up there and got a hotel, stayed the night, and the next day went and visited the family. But coming into town, I swung by a restaurant, picked up my wife dinner, took her to the hotel. She stayed in the room. Me and Tim went out smoking cigars. And well, first we went on a bourbon hunt because
gotta get the bourbon.
When you go out of town, you want to take the opportunity because we can't find Buffalo Trace here in town.
Nope. So
I bought 2 bottles of that, and then they had a bottle of just the regular 4 Roses for $22. I was like, I gotta get that.
Yes.
That's a no brainer. And then they also had the Russell Reserve 10-year. And I haven't seen that around here in a while, so I snagged one of those. So anyway,
good hunt, man. That's a treasure trove.
Dude, their Texas liquor stores close at 2100, 9 o'clock. And when me and Tim got together, it was 8:30, and we made 3 liquor stores.
Don't look too long. You see it, grab it. Let's get out of here.
Boom. Well, like the first we walked in, it was like, nah, let's go another one.
Yep.
And Tim was like, dude, it's 8:40, and I was
we can do it. We can do it.
I was like, we're in Lubbock.
If we get in the door before 9, they're not going to lock us in.
I was standing in line at the liquor store at one store, and a guy kind of like walks up and like going to cut in front of me, and I was like, go ahead, bro. I'm in no hurry. And he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, as long as they ring me up before 9,
I don't care.
I'm done.
Yep.
The hunt's over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But it was a good time hanging out with Tim. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a little bit. Let's talk about our sponsors right quick.
All the time.
So we have
Great.
Case Elegance. If you want to talk about quality humidors, I mean, dude, I haven't found another humidor that I find better quality, better looking, and the easiest maintenance of any humidor I've seen.
This is the perfect opportunity for the adjective extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire. And here's the thing, they send everything you need to season it. You don't have
everything,
and it's step by step
instructions.
By step. Dude, you've seasoned humidors before, and it's hard. A bunch of guessing work. They lay it out, bam. You're a professional seasoner from this point forward.
Don't use this.
Right. Like, hey, moron.
Don't do this.
We know you've done this before, and that's what you did, and it's wrong.
Do this, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, and you'll be there.
And that's it.
And let it sit.
And they have pictures.
Yes. For those of us that get caught up on words, like, well, I'm reading it, but, picture.
Right. It's like they make it's foolproof. And it's awesome. Tim's got his. He told me that
he said, no big words.
Yeah. Tim's got his humidor going. He got the Maserati black and white one, Yes. And anyway, he said it's right on 70.
That's where mine is.
I was like,
right
dude,
now.
it's
perfectly.
Right. There ain't no messing around.
None.
So
None.
Check them out. And if you get anything from them and use the code Cigar Talk Coin, you get your own challenge coin with Cigar Talk on one side and Claro humidors on the other. Case Elegance. Anyway, look down the show notes for that link.
Yes.
Then let's talk about McAuliffe Cigars. McAuliffe Cigars. Dude, they got a new associate. Well, I don't know her official title yet, but her name is Lauren. She was on the Texas Cigar Roadshow recently. I love those guys.
Yes, sir.
And anyway, we're going to get her on the show real soon, too, because I want to hear all about, she was a tobacconist at CI where you went, and they kind of like, hey.
That's right. That's the one that Al said he stole.
Yeah.
He said, nah, I need you over here.
Yeah, and from what I saw on the Texas Cigar Roadshow, she's pretty sharp. She knows her beer, and she knows her cigars.
Yeah.
I don't know beer.
Me neither.
I don't want to know beer.
The only beer I knew was Michelob. Anything other than that,
You know,
I was like, nope.
I used to drink Michelob. It was actually a pretty good beer.
Yep. The rest of that stuff I can't mess with, man.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
No.
Well, you know, every now and then.
Still not every now and then. No. So, you know, if you see me with a beer, I'm getting ready to cook with it. That's it. I'm getting ready to cook with it. So don't think I'm gonna drink it. I'm getting ready to cook with it.
If you see me with a beer, it's because there's no bourbon within 200 miles.
You will make a 200-mile just so I don't have to drink a beer. I'm gonna drive 200 miles and get me some bourbon. What about 201? Nope, 200.
That's my cutoff.
200. Give me a Michelob.
199. I'll drink the beer.
I'll drink the beer.
So, anyway, yeah, we're going to see about getting her on the show.
Okay.
And if you guys haven't signed up to be a McAuliffe ambassador,
where are you?
Yeah,
come from under.
You're hiding under a rock. Come on out.
Come on out.
I mean, if you haven't done it, quit holding out.
Please. $9.99, $9,999.
If you get number 9999 or 10,000, we're going to have you on the show.
Yeah. So that means you can't wait.
Yeah, because it's like,
yep, daily.
So anyway, look down the show notes. You become a McAuliffe ambassador, and check out their line of cigars. They have a price range of $4 to $42.
You got it.
And they have a blend for every palate. So check them out. And if your store doesn't have them, ask them to start carrying them.
Yes.
Or call the Leaf.
Next.
So when we talk about the Leaf in in Abilene, Texas, at 1166 North 2nd.
Hey, he's getting better and better.
So go by there. If you're within 50 miles, it's worth the detour because, I mean,
it really is.
It's the place to hang out. You're talking about the atmosphere at CI. You don't get
totally
that.
Different.
You know what I mean?
Totally different.
When you go to the Leaf, it's like,
degrees.
Hey, welcome home, baby.
Thank you.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Yes. What you want?
And then they got a
smoking?
humidor that's like 550 million feet long.
Truthfully, I mean, that's where it seems. You walk in there and it's like
you a lot of cigars in there.
You walk in there, you look like you're in a fun house. Like,
yeah.
Does this end?
Yeah, it keeps getting longer as you go.
Like, man, come on. But full of sticks.
Dude, how many
Quality
times
sticks.
have you been in there versus how many times do you still walk around just like a kid in a candy store? I know. It's
and
like,
I'm like,
I haven't seen that.
And you ask Jay, how long you have? They've always been there. What?
Right.
I didn't.
I've been there.
He said, Brian, you come in here and you go to one spot. Yeah, but I look sometimes. And when I look and I see something that I like, I'm going to snatch it. But you walk in there, man, it's like you said, every time you walk in there, fat kid in the candy store, it's something new. It's something new. It's something new. Uh-oh.
Chocolatey notes so far. And I'm just barely in. But nice, smooth retro held with a lot of flavor.
Good.
So anyway, sorry I didn't mean to interrupt you. But yeah, at the Leaf, dude, we've got it all. We've got it made.
Yes.
And if you are a Patreon member, if you're part of the Light 'em Up crew, Jay has your name on a list. He's checking it twice to see if you've been naughty or not.
Which all of them have been naughty.
If you call up Jay and make an order, he's going to give you free shipping.
Yep.
Free shipping for all the Light 'em Up crew members. So if you haven't become a Light 'em Up crew member, there's another benefit everyone gets is free shipping on anything from the Leaf. And they have not just cigars.
Nope.
They've got accessories. They've got lighters, ashtrays, smoking pipes. And when I say they've got pipes, they don't have a few like 6 or 7 pipes or even like 10, 15 pipes.
Here's
they
another
have
one of
a
those
million pipes.
Here's another one of those. A plethora.
They do have a plethora of nice, fancy pipes.
Nice pipes.
I mean, and when I say fancy, I don't mean like dainty. I mean like man stuff. You know what I mean?
Stuff. Something you would love to have in your hand and puffing on.
We should do a video.
With one eye squinted like Popeye.
We should do a video of all the pipes. Because it's impressive. And I'm not even a pipe guy.
Too.
I'm not a pipe guy. Oh, the pipe tobacco, it's over 100. And to me, that's a lot of pipe tobacco.
To me, because I didn't,
I've tried it.
I ain't tried all of them, but I tried a few.
I've tried some that I do like. I've tried some that I'm like, yuck. No,
Like,
I don't want that.
clean it out.
Yes, I mean, but that's the thing. There's one for everyone.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
There's a few for everyone.
And I tried some of the ones that the guys that have smoked for decades
Yeah.
recommended, and I was like, eh.
And see, that's the thing. It's your palate. It's
Yeah,
what you
exactly. I preferred more of the dark flake stuff.
Yeah.
But to me, that represented more of what a cigar is.
Yeah. So
And here's the thing. The guys that smoke pipes, they're not trying to get a cigar out of a pipe. They're enjoying the intended pipe tobacco
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
whatever works for you.
Yeah.
But I was always trying to be like, that's almost like a cigar. You know what I mean? And that's not really...
that's not what you're looking for.
right.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's why I smoke cigars, because
Yeah.
that's what I like.
And we also like our last one.
Viva la
I'm
vida.
glad he didn't go. You still went too far with it.
I did. Viva la vida.
Felvis.
Felvis. That'd be
fake,
me.
Fake Elvis Felvis.
Lemonade.
Oh, here we go.
I'm having some lemonade today.
Me too. I put some
Tea
in
and
my
lemonade.
tea. Yeah.
It's called an Arnold Palmer when you do that. Did you know
With
that?
something else, yeah.
No. Just the Arnold Palmer. They actually sell this as Arnold Palmer
They do?
at the grocery store, already packaged. It's half lemon, aid, and half unsweet tea. Well, I say unsweet tea. I don't know about the unsweet part.
Because it's probably like
I mean, it's all sugar.
liquid diabetes.
Right. It's like, can we hook that up to my arm?
Please.
So anyway, let's talk about Viva La Vida Cigars, Artisanal Tobacco, Billy and Gus, two great entrepreneurs that have an amazing story. You go back and listen to one of the shows where we interviewed Billy and his brother.
Yes.
Dude, listen to his story if you haven't heard it yet.
Come on now, man.
I mean, immigrants, they came over here. They have been successful because they have put in the freaking work. And they came out with
American
a beautiful cigar
Yes, they
that
did.
to me should be in everyone's personal humidor.
Yes. At least two.
Yeah.
The Jester and the Club
Well,
500.
I would say two of the same
Yeah.
because when someone comes over, you're going to want to share that.
Oh, well, that's the name of the show. So I understand.
I
you
just-
now.
yeah, this
I got
is the
you.
gift
'Cause I
of
was like-
giving.
I was like, I ain't sharing my one Club
Wow.
500.
Wow. How's that basin?
Dude.
Yeah, I gave you that. See,
Thank you.
See how that works?
Thank you.
It's a gift.
Thank you.
That makes up for all the dog rockets.
You could give me two more dog rockets and this will make up for
All right,
This,
good to
this
know.
is a
Good to know.
for those that never had an Amazon basin. To me, I'm just done. I'm done.
Hey, let me tell you something. So when I was at Smoker's Haven, I said, dude, I have a friend that will love this stick.
Oh, yes.
I said, do you have very many of those? And he was like, 3 boxes. I
He
was
does?
like, do you want to sell them?
And he's like, what'd he say?
He just laughed.
Because he knows he's got some of the last 3 boxes.
He acted like he didn't even care. Like it was no big deal.
I gotta get in contact with Smokers Haven.
Boom.
I gotta get in contact with Smokers Haven.
Figured you'd want that information.
Yes, appreciate that.
You're welcome, bro.
Gift of giving.
Hey.
Giving that information. Hey.
So anyway, guys, let's talk about our pick 6 this week. You got
who's going first?
I'm gonna let you go first. Hey, I've got a lot of good cigars on my list. this
Everybody's
week.
gonna be like, we know who's going first. Let's listen now.
You're right.
Number 1 is going to be the Perdomo Sun Grown 10th anniversary.
Perdomo Sun-Grown 10th. Good stick. Really anything in the sun-grown, the 10th anniversary, the barrel aged,
yeah.
all of those I'm a big fan of. The only Perdomo I'm not a fan
Which one
of is the Lot 23.
I knew you was going to say that.
I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. So
Understandable, bro.
anyway,
Next, Roma Craft Aquitaine.
what Vitola did you get?
I had to show you the picture.
Okay.
Because I didn't care about the Vitola. I was just
Not
so happy
Via,
to see
Vitola.
Vitola. I was just happy to see it.
I started saying Vitola way back when, and now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to break me of doing that. Might as well break you of it
You
too.
ain't just breaking you. You breaking me too.
Okay, that's like a fat Robusto. I don't know. They've got so many different. They are very unique Vitolas.
And the thing about it is, You cannot say that Roma Craft is run of the mill with their Vitolas.
No, not at all, dude. No, they are
drink.
so original.
Yes.
And I mean they're making shit up that never existed before.
You're like, what is that?
I mean,
and then you light it up and you're like, who thought of this?
yeah, that's great.
Come on.
And
why isn't everybody else doing this one?
The thing about it is, I'll say this, a lot of cigar companies will make cigars and they'll try to make them look fancy, and they shoot over the mark, and it ruins it.
Not Roma
Dude,
Craft.
Roma Craft is very creative, but everything they do is simple.
Very.
You know what I mean? It's like, and when you do that, it's like perfection.
Yes.
It's like when they do a barber pole, they don't go crazy.
Nope.
When they do like the Black Irish, the wrap on that is like solid.
Yes,
you know
it
what I
is.
mean? And it's like, dude, because you see some that like do like, the Pink Panther stealing a jewel on the side. I don't know, all kinds of crazy stuff. So
Yeah, but we're not looking for that.
no,
My last one is going to be a New World Cameroon Select.
the New World Cameroon Select. Is that different than what I know?
Nope.
Which now is that the box press,
Yes.
or now is that the torpedo, or is that just the Toro?
It was the Toro.
Okay, cool.
And when I say it's a Cameroon, it's a Cameroon.
Nice.
It's a Cameroon.
Really?
It's a Cameroon.
It's the real Cameroon?
It's a Cameroon.
Are you sure?
The taste.
Oh, because real. Only,
I know. I know.
Okay.
Only comes from there.
Right.
We know.
And there's like three families I think that you can get it from,
Yeah.
and they're like
Who-
they're like from that movie where
What
they
movie?
Thou shalt not pass when you're trying to get in for some Cameroon.
And you got the fake.
Right, not happening.
He's not real. He's not real. Start sounding like what was his name? Off of Yoda. Real he's not. Real he's not.
So anyway, okay, I'll do my 3 this week.
Your 3?
Yeah, you gave
Nope,
3.
I know.
Well, what do you mean my
I'm just
3?
messing with you, bro.
Oh, so look at this cigar picture here. So here, old Jack's Rocks.
Yeah. Huh?
He like called me out for saying that people are on Instagram and trying to be
Just-
influencers. So because he gave me shit, all my pictures this week were banned free.
Everything's. If somebody's hit me with that, but it was on TikTok. They're like, man, take that band off. Nobody wants to care about the band.
That was not why.
I'm talking about somebody did me that
Oh,
way.
oh.
And I was like,
Kiss
this is my
ass.
shit.
Right.
If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Take your band
Move
off.
Move the heck on.
I'm not telling you to pull up your pants.
There it was. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a great. Look at the burn on that.
I was like, yes.
Yeah, but anyway, this was actually the Perdomo ESV Maduro. So anyway, I love the stick, and you know what? It was interesting taking the band off and just smoking it. And I'm gonna get you to look at this photo because I got to tell you a little something about it. But I'll come back to that. So my next one this week is the Blackbird, and it was the blue band. I think that's the Raven. Yeah, that's what it is. And dude, I'll tell you what, that Raven was fantastic. Have you smoked the Raven?
Yeah, we smoked it here.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And then, dude, look at that photo right there.
That's the Blackbird?
No.
That's another one?
That is the 858 Arturo Fuente Maduro.
Oh.
And so anyway, but then
he trying to bust my list out. You hear this, Lou?
no.
You hear how you going, man? He trying to bust my list. Like, dude, I smoked extraordinarily.
Dude, no. I smoked.
I'm using that word again.
I got you hooked on it.
Yeah.
Hey, but no, it was what's the I smoked some Arturos this week, and there was one that has a different band than all the rest of the Arturos. And I apologize, I don't remember which one it was, but that one would be on my fourth pick of the week. If we did 4, that one would be on here.
Okay.
So anyway, hey guys, we got something coming up for you right quick. We're going to take a quick little break. We'll be right back. Hang in there.
I didn't see nobody post.
Okay. Hey guys, we got Kevin Shahan from the Cigar Prop with us. It's been a long time coming. We've been like in the shadow friends for a while, just because he does his thing, I do mine, but we see each other in crossing all the time. So I wanted to have him on the show, and we finally got him. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing good, Rob. Welcome to the Drew Estate Experience Acid Studios. I'm glad to have you in studio, be it virtually, but I'm glad to have you here, and we're finally getting to hook up and talk. I think we've talked on the phone a couple of times, but we've never virtually hugged, fist bumped, whatever.
It would definitely be the fist bump. I mean, I am a hugger, but that beard kind of shies me away from the hugs, bro.
Yeah. People will come in for a hug, and then they'll get like a face, especially if they're shorter than me. They'll get a face full of beard, and it's always it's not awkward for me. It's funny.
Yeah. I'm not a face in the beard type guy, but I know some people are. So
yes.
So let's talk about your cigar experience. I mean, how long have you been doing cigars? When did you start smoking cigars? What got you into the whole cigar scene in the very beginning?
Well, I try and tell everybody, I've been like what I would consider a professional cigar smoker for probably about 5 to 6 years now, maybe 7 years. And that is someone that I think that smokes, maybe 3 to 4 or 5 times a week, if not every day. Someone that knows a little bit about the cigars. I think a professional cigar smoker can, knows the difference between a Drew Estate and a Dunbarton and a Espinosa. But so that's what I consider. Now I'm a professional cigar smoker, but I've been smoking cigars for probably 20 years. But
wow, how old are you, man?
I'm 43.
Okay. I had no idea how old you are, because with the sunglasses, the hat, and the beard, I'm like, he could be like 50 or he could be like 12. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
It completely throws people off. So, but I started off smoking cigars kind of like I think the majority of people. You just pick up a cigar.
Right.
I mean, you pick up something cheap. You look through the catalog and you get something and then you're happy with that because you don't know any better. And then, like I said, growing up, my dad occasionally, maybe like a couple times a year, I would see him smoke a cigar. So he wasn't an avid cigar smoker. And I was a gearhead. And my buddy Brian, who I'm still good friends with, I grew up with him. His dad was a gearhead, and then his dad smoked cigars, but like cheap cigars. But there was always that smell. It was always that cool look, the old, the guy 50 years old, wrenching on cars and smoking a cigar. And so that kind of, I don't know, is the FDA listening? It was, cause we don't want them to know that, it's like we look cool and I was above 18. So it's not like I was a child mimicking,
right.
How cool smoking was. But
so like as a gearhead, like, are you still a gearhead?
Yeah, I'm a mechanic by trade. It's what I do for a living.
I did not know that. Very cool, man. You look like a mechanic, dude.
Yeah, a lot of people think that the Cigar Prop, all of this pays for my living. It does not, Rob. You're rich. You've got money because you've got professional equipment, so you must be rich.
I'm not rich. I'm just in debt, bro.
Yeah, it's always just managing that debt.
It's like if I had no debt, I still would not be rich.
Yeah.
But so that's cool, man. So like, do you also like work on, tinker, build your own like hot rods and stuff? I mean, what kind of mechanic stuff are you into?
I'm a general repair car mechanic. I do suspensions, tune-ups, alignments, tires, oil, whatever comes into my bay, pretty much. But when I was a kid, I had a couple little cars and we tuned them up. We raced. That was always a passion of mine, racing, quarter mile flat, straight racing. And just kind of as as we all get older, we grow. I don't know. I hate to say grow up, but we grow out of things. And now I like cars with lumbar support, heated seats.
Dude, not heated seats. I want the AC heats.
My seats are AC.
Oh, that is so nice. I had a car once that had that, and we no longer have that car. We were driving about a 4-hour trip last Sunday, and in Texas, man, it's hot. And we were like, dang, sure would be nice to have that AC leather seats right now.
Oh yeah, so that's and I don't want and I try and trade things in every couple of years because I don't want to work on cars after work. I don't even want to change my own oil.
Oh, dude, I don't either. I mean, I would not ever say I was a gearhead, but I could work on my own car when I was young. Yeah. But I drove a 72 Chevelle, and there's not a lot of stuff you can't figure out on those old cars.
Oh yeah,
and so now I'm like, I don't want to change brakes. I don't want to do any of that. I mean, I want to just put gas in and go.
Oh, exactly. And then one day when I retire from this business, I still won't do it for my own stuff. I will take it somewhere.
Yeah.
My time is worth more money than a repair. If it's a big repair, if it's something that I know is expensive, that I can do myself easily, I might do it, but it's not worth my time. Just pay someone else to do it.
Absolutely. Well, I got so lucky because I did make my own repair on my daughter's Jeep that saved me, I don't know how much money, but my wife calls and says, we had to leave my daughter's Jeep at so-and-so and the clutch went out. And I was like, oh man, I'm not doing the clutch job. Yeah. So anyway, I go over there and the clutch is just free flowing. You know what I mean? There's no restriction whatsoever. And what had happened is the little plastic insert that goes into the pedal had basically twisted off and broke. And it was a $6 repair. And I was like, oh, do you know how awesome that is to be a $6 repair versus, $500?
Oh yeah, exactly. It's yeah. Luckily, you lucked out, and I still get called occasionally, not too often. Once every few months to go over and look at a friend's car.
Oh yeah.
Usually that they can. Usually, my buddy Brian, like I talked about earlier, like I said, he can work on just about anything as well. But sometimes it's out of his scope for to diagnose something. So at least I just gotta go over there and usually just look and poke around and usually tell him, okay, there's the problem. Just replace that thing. And he knows what to do.
Oh, wow. Well, that's cool. I mean, at least you're not having to dive in hands first and, and help. Because, when you're doing something as a job, it's not that you want to be doing it all the time, whether it be for yourself or friends or anybody else.
Yeah, and how this is, we work, I mean, at least I work an 8-hour, day, and then come home, and Cigar Prop takes up another 4 to 5 hours of my time, 5 days a week. On the 2 days I get off from my other job, Cigar Prop is 12-hour days,
right?
So there's always something to do, and even little things like going over to seeing a friend, for a couple of hours, and then that can set me back an entire day. I just recently had lunch with my dad. I had to put him on the schedule 6 weeks in advance.
Wow!
And, because I wanted to block out about a 4-hour time frame to have, and he only lives 10 minutes from me. So but yeah, I had to get him on the schedule 6 weeks out. Just to have lunch with my dad. And,
I'm impressed you have a schedule that far out. I have schedule in my brain about a week out. So that's about what I can handle.
Oh no, my scheduling is usually 4 to 6 weeks.
Are you OCD?
I'm pretty obsessive compulsive.
Yes, I can read that about you. I'm not OCD at all. I'm more ADHD.
Yeah, no,
which means
OCD would
that we would not work well together, brother.
yeah. So I often say, like, when someone asks me, it's like, hey, can you come over to do this, or can you come over and do this, or whatever? Jessica will be like, what time are you going to be home? I don't say 6 o'clock. I don't say 6:30. I say things like, I'll be there at 6:13. I'll be there at 6:17. I'll be there at 7:04. I know what time. I value time because it's the only thing in life that no matter how rich you are, you cannot buy more of.
True.
So I value every second of the day, and I plan out every second. I have a snack every night. I've got about about an 18-minute window for an evening snack of when what I'm going to sit down, and it's mind-boggling what happens up here.
I understand, because I'm the exact opposite. So I completely understand how it is for you, because to me, that sounds like a complete nightmare. But if I told you how I am, it would be a complete nightmare to you, because you're like, are you crazy? So, I mean, but that's what makes the world go round, man. We all have our different little ticks,
Oh, exactly. And Jessica, you and Jessica would get along. I have to lie to her about everything when it comes to time. So even though we have an alarm clock in the room, it runs 18 minutes fast, just because I can't. For her, she needs a little window, a buffer, so it's never displaying the correct time.
Well, I tell you this, I do. I take naps. You take naps? I doubt you take naps.
I enjoy a good nap every now and then.
Every now and then I usually take 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I was taking a nap the other day, and I had an interview. I think it was at 4:30, and I'm on vacation for my regular job. So I was taking a nap. I woke up, and I was in the kitchen getting something to eat. And I looked at the clock, and I was like, holy shit, I'm supposed to be on somebody else's show this week as an interview. And that was 20 minutes ago. So I haul ass out to the studio, throw on, my headset, jump in. And I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. I just don't keep up with time very well. So, but we had a good time anyway. So let me ask you this. I know that Drew Estate, big supporter of what you do, big sponsorship of what you do. How did you get in with Drew Estate as far as, was that like one of the brands that you really were drawn to early on, or is that one of the brands that you learned about after you've been smoking for many years? How did that play out?
Yeah, when I started Cigar Prop, sitting at my lathe one day making a part, and then I end up my cigar rolling around. I end up making a cigar rest. Jessica loved it. Said, I should make and sell them. So we started the business. So then I'm like, okay, so I have a cigar accessory business now, even though it's just one product. I should probably do some kind of cigar reviews. And back then there weren't a ton of channels. So I'm like, all right, maybe I can make a go of this. So I started doing some reviews of just some cigars I liked, so then started getting into Facebook groups and chatting with people. Then I noticed people start posting about Drew Estate, getting to learn that company. Tried a couple of their cigars, and absolutely fell in love with the cigars that they produced. I loved the infused line. Back when I first started, I smoked a lot more infused cigars than I do now. And then just reviewing all of those cigars, and I've always been ever since I was a kid. I'm always a numbers and analytics person. People lie, numbers don't lie. Numbers can never lie. So every time I would do a review, especially at the very beginning, you might get 25 views. You know how it was at the beginning.
Oh yeah,
doing that, and then I would smoke like a Drew Estate, and then I noticed I got 100 views, and I'm like, smoke a couple more cigars, back down to 25 or so. Smoke a Drew Estate. 150 views. I'm like, all right, so this is a cigar or a company that people want to know a little bit more about. So I started learning a little bit more about the company, the cigars, the history, and then got Jessica into it. Jessica, raised in born in New Jersey, says raised in New York. She's a New York girl. She, Jonathan Drew, the Rebirth of Cigars. She fell in love, and then we just really smoked for a couple of years, just a lot of Drew Estate cigars. We loved the culture. We loved the lifestyle. We had such a blast at the one of the barn smokers. That was her very first cigar event. And we just had a good time. And then it was, I think 2 years ago. Yes, they didn't have any barn smokers last year. So it was the year before we were getting ready to start a show. I was a guest host on another show. Then I kind of started one with my boy Brad Reith from Zeal Cigars, And then we just got so busy that we just couldn't keep doing the show, being in Arizona, the stupid time difference. And so we decided to kind of go our own separate ways. And I mean, we're still best friends, still talk every day. But then I approached Drew Estate and I'm like, hey, I'm thinking of doing a show. You know, you guys want to be a part of it? And then they're like, yeah, we do. Yeah, we want to be part of everything that you and Jessica do.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
So it was, so it just started our relationship right there and blossomed from there. You know, shortly after, maybe a couple weeks after Drew Estate came on board, we got a Corona Cigar came on board, and they've been a huge supporter of ours since you know, literally the beginning. Jeff is such a great guy. So and then one after another, and it's kind of steamrolled from there.
Awesome. So how long you been doing this in the studio? You got everything set up. It looks fantastic, by the way, but how long have you been doing the show?
We've been doing the show since it'd be like October of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, so October of 2019. So we're going on 2 years.
I got you. So this October will be 2 years.
Yeah, it'll be 2 years.
Okay.
Like
cool,
October,
man.
November, something like that.
So your main platform is on YouTube, right? I mean, also on Facebook. I see you everywhere on Facebook and Instagram as well. But I mean, your main platform is YouTube?
You know, it's hard to say. You know, we're one of the few people, and I don't know why.
Wait a minute. You're also badass blowing up on TikTok.
Yes.
Is that where you're going?
That we are. No, it's because we've got about 7,200 subscribers on YouTube. We got 5,500 on Instagram. We've got 23,000 on TikTok. I mean, we have some Twitter followers. We've got a growing LinkedIn account. So we're one of the few people, and I really don't know why, that we've been able to go across the platforms and do really well on all the platforms. Like, so some guys, they focus on YouTube and they crush it on YouTube. Some people, you know, like Erica and Amy from the TLE podcast, you know, they crush it on Instagram. That's their thing. That's what they focus on. There are cigar guys that just kill it on TikTok, you know, 100,000 plus followers, and that's what they focus on. And I've never been a guy to put all my eggs in one basket. You know, you try and diversify, but I learned that because before I had the cigar business, which I still do, I have a beard company as well. It's called Irish Beard Balm. I manufacture beard products. So I've been doing that for 8 years now. So I learned at the very beginning, there are people that will only buy from your website. Some people that will only buy from Etsy. Some people will only buy from Amazon. Some people will only buy from eBay. And you have to be on every single platform to get all the customers that may want your product. So you
basically have to go where the customer is, because they're not coming to you wherever you are. You have to be available.
You have to be available. So I brought that to our social media networking, whatever you want to call it, when I started this. And I'm like, all right, so we're always looking for that, you know, for that next event. Like TikTok, we've only been on TikTok since December, you know. And
yeah, dude, I've been on TikTok for 2 years, and I think I have 333 followers as today. But TikTok is a whole different kind of animal, and you work it very well, by the way. You do a really good job on TikTok. I don't do well on TikTok because I don't know. It's not my platform, but I love what you're doing on there, man. I think you're knocking it out with it.
You know, I take the Steve Saka mentality when it comes to social media and creating social media content. As you know, Steve Saka only makes cigars that he smokes. That's it. He blends for himself, and there's a lot of people with his same flavor profile that enjoy his cigars. Some people don't like his cigars, and that's fine. He's not going to make something for somebody just because they want something else. When my approach to social media is, I spend a lot of time on social media. So the videos that I find enjoyable on YouTube, I try and replicate. I don't want to copy somebody else, you know, but I'm like, why did I laugh? What made that? I like that transition he did. I like that zoom effect. Maybe I'll try something a little bit like that. So I try and make videos that I enjoy watching. And I think that's what, that's what's worked for us. And TikTok, I spend a lot of time on TikTok.
Dude, it is so easy to get sucked in.
It is. And then on TikTok, sometimes, a lot of times it is just copying other people. It's whatever that trending sound is.
Sure.
Whatever that trending dance is, whatever that trending, and that's what people seek out. So a lot of the TikTok, you are, mimicking what other people are doing, but as you know, in your unique, kooky way.
Right.
So you're not wearing the same outfit, doing the same thing with the same background. You're taking something that's trending, and then
it's just basically like a melding pot of creativity is what it is. And
exactly. And luckily enough, like I said, we gain, on TikTok, like 1,000 subscribers. That's like your goal. You got to get to 1,000. That unlocks other things on TikTok, like your creator fund and everything else. And we hear people that have been on TikTok. Well, I've been on TikTok for a year or 2 years. I haven't got my 1,000 yet. People ask me, when did you get your 1,000? I go, my first day.
Wow, no kidding.
I literally got, we gained 15 to, I can't remember, right around 15,000 subscribers in 60 days.
Wow, that's impressive, man. Well, I've got a younger brother. He's the youngest brother that I have. And I want to say he has over 100,000 followers. You've probably seen him. He's the dancing UPS guy.
I follow a couple of those. I love the UPS and FedEx guys, so I'll have to.
Yeah, my brother's a dancing UPS guy, and he's crazy numbers. And I'm just like, yeah, I got 333 followers.
But it's being across all platforms and just keeping at it, because as you know, with Google Analytics and with Google, they just want they want to find you. So the more places that they can find you, it just you're just going to get that many more views, and you have that potential for blowing up and getting that big interview or that big video, and then you never know. Then it takes off from there, and next thing you know, you've got the million.
Hey, well, let's change gears here for a second. You've had a lot of great interviews. Who's one or two of your favorite interviews that you've done?
For straight, and nothing against Matt, but for straight up cigar knowledge and learning things I've never known before, Saka. I've had so many conversations with Steve, and I learn something every single damn time.
Yeah, he's in my top two.
Yep. And then Matt Booth. Matt makes me smile like nobody else does. Just interviewing him, and then just the random text messages he sends me during the day, or he'll call me out of the blue, just to say something dumb and wacky, and he just the man puts a smile on my face.
See, and I can't say one over the other, but my other one was Robert Caldwell. That dude's a trip. That dude is 100% what you see is what you get.
On our show, Robert is probably in the top 3 of the best interviews I ever did, because I had the most fun. And if you probably polled all of our watchers, they would say Robert Caldwell is hands down our best interview. We didn't know where it was going to go, and there was just one point during that interview, and that's what I pride myself in. But on him, you saw the instant to where, like, he sat back, he relaxed, and then it all came out.
Oh, yeah,
everything
absolutely,
on his history, and it was just so many great stories. And I think that's the key. And I know you do it well, and there's a lot of other guys that do it well, to where when you're interviewing, you just gotta get people to sit back, relax, just chat, have a good time. And I don't know how many times now, there's probably been at least 6 times someone has said something on our show that they shouldn't have. That's like they've said some secret stuff.
Yeah.
And I forget what the last one was. And it was, I think with Brian Matola with Luzione had mentioned, he's like, and obviously, that, we're handling the distribution for Amendola. And I'm like, well, I knew that. And I go, no, Brian. I go, nobody knew that. Like, you're not supposed, they didn't release that yet. And he's just like, oh, crap.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. And then, like, the next day, shit hit the fan. Like, Amendola's PR people, how did Brian, and Dion's on Brian, I guess. Why did you? And I'm like, excellent.
Hey, it is fun. It's fun when that kind of stuff happens.
Well, it is. It's making your guest, it's relaxing your guest, to where it's just having fun.
Yeah, you're just having a conversation with them. So let me ask you this. How long has your wife been your partner in this? Has it been from day one, or did she like come along slowly, or did she jump in all at once you needed help? How did that work out?
Well, first, because sometimes she gets irritated. She is my fiance. I say wife because it's easier.
I've heard you say wife, so I thought it was your wife.
That's all I say, and everybody now I just tell her, I go, you can't leave me because everybody thinks we're married,
right?
So, but yeah, we just haven't. Honestly, we haven't had time to just actually get married.
On your schedule, I mean, you should fit in 18 minutes sometime, and y'all can tie the knot.
Yeah. So when we were dating, she knew I smoked cigars, and so I would come over to her place every now and then. We'd go out on the front porch. I would smoke a cigar, and she would have her wine. I'd have my drink, and then she wanted to try them every now and then. So then I bought some like little Drew Estates, some little acid blondies. Because she smoked cigarettes years and years prior. Her father, her uncles, she grew up on they had a farm, like a greenhouse for commercial nursery and stuff. So they smoked cigars. So she'd been around cigar smoking, growing up. So yeah, got her on the little Drew Estates, and she loved them. And then we just slowly just kind of got her into the heavier and heavier, and then that was the rabbit hole for her, because now she rarely goes back to an infused cigar. I mean, we probably keep, 500 infused cigars, maybe 400 in our humidor. But we probably only smoke one a week, maybe two a week on the infused. And now she's become known in the industry, and it's a running joke because I don't handle nicotine. I don't like a punch in your face. That's why I can't smoke Padron. I just can't smoke. There's too much nicotine.
You like a lot of Corojos?
I like Corojos, Criollo. I like a lot. I mean, I can smoke heavy, bold cigars. Like there's nothing Dunbarton makes that
right.
can kick my ass, but he doesn't have a ton of nicotine. So she seeks out the nicotine, like the heaviest, fullest bodied cigars known to man. And people will send her, hey, this cigar made me throw up and I cried for 3 hours. I'd like Jessica to try it. And she'll just smoke it and be like, yeah, it's all right.
Hey, so I got to ask you, has she smoked the NAS from LFD?
I don't think she has.
That's the one cigar, and I used to be that way too. I used to be really into the really heavy nicotine, and that cigar, and on average, I smoke, I don't know, probably like you, I smoke 7, 8, sometimes 9 cigars a day. So I'm used to a lot of nicotine. And this one particular cigar, the NAS from LFD, it looks like a shroot, like what Clint Eastwood used to smoke in the old cowboy movies. So, I mean, it doesn't look like much, but like I didn't smoke another cigar for like 4.5 hours after I smoked that, because I was like, wow, that was strong. But it doesn't look strong at all. So it's very deceiving. But it was actually decent smoke, but the cigar level was off the chart.
Wow, I'll have to hunt that one down. I know the last one that gave her the sweats, and surprisingly, was a Connecticut. It was the Amendola Cremoso, which is a Connecticut. It's hands down the strongest Connecticut that's probably ever been produced in the cigar world. And it is, and the one thing I hate is the saying, it's not your father's Connecticut, because everybody says that.
Everyone does say that. I never say, well, I can't say never because I have said it, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
But that Cremoso, and then we did smoke a pre-release, so it was a little young, and she got about halfway through and she came in with the sweats. Like she had to lay down. And I smoked it the next day. I only got a quarter of the way through. I couldn't finish the cigar. It was so powerful. Now we've smoked them since, and then on the full release, that they've toned down a little bit. They've got a little bit of age on them, but it's still a powerful cigar for being a Connecticut.
Right. Yeah, and I'm a fan of the stronger Connecticut lines. I do smoke a lot of Connecticut's, and so I'm definitely going to try that one. I have not had that one yet. I haven't had anything of Amendola since he swapped everything.
It's not night and day difference. That line, what Espinosa's doing, what Aganorsa's doing for Amendola. It is. I keep telling everybody, it's a cigar company that, and by the end of this year, next year, it is going to take the world by storm. They are producing some of the selling some of the best cigars on the market right now.
Well, I thought he had good cigars already, but now you go pair it up with what Aganorsa does, dude, you're going to knock a home run.
Yeah, how can you not?
Right.
If you can get Aganorsa to, they're so busy, and they've got so many companies they're making cigars for, and they, it's hard to get in there now, because they're not just going to make a ton of cigars for everybody. They want what they make. They want quality. And they want to be able to rein in that control. So they were very lucky to get in over there at Aganorsa and have Aganorsa producing some of their cigars, and then, like I said, over at La Zona with Espinosa. So fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm happy for Jeffrey. I know he's been putting in the work for a long time, and he deserves success. He really does.
Oh, that he does. And then his partner Chris. I don't know. Do you know Chris Monaco?
I do not know Chris.
Okay, so I talk to Chris more than I maybe talk to Jeffrey, every now and then, but I talk to Chris all the time. So he's Jeff's partner in the business.
Okay. So being in Florida, man, how cool is that? You have access to all the cigar, everything, because, Florida is the capital of the cigar world in America.
Yeah. And I attribute that to a lot of our success is just living. I'm 3 hours from sitting down and having a meeting with every cigar manufacturer there is. Eventually, if you don't have an office here, you come through here. Like my buddy Omar DeFrias, Fratello. He's in Tampa constantly. Lives in Maryland. I haven't had a chance to meet up with him yet. Because his schedule, my schedule, it's always. He's like, hey, another thing. He'll message me, hey, I'll be in Tampa tomorrow. Hey, me. I can't do the next day thing.
Right.
But yeah, with Miami and Tampa and. It's just whatever interview I want, whatever cigar I want, whatever, just hanging out at Davidoff of Geneva in Tampa. It's one of my go-to lounges, Jeff's place or his Sand Lake Corona, or even going down south. I spent the day at Abe's place, Smoke Inn down at Boynton Beach, hanging down with Abe and everybody. And then Kevin Gold from Rockefeller Cigars came in. So just kind of passing through. So I got to hang out with Kevin for a couple hours and just shoot the shit with him. And, gave me one of his new cigars to try that he's blending. And so it just the joys of being in Florida.
Nice. So where do you see Cigar Prop headed in the next 5, I hate to say 10 years, because when you're at my age, 10 years means you're old, but if the next 5 to 10 years, where's Cigar Prop going to be? Are you going to focus on what you do media wise? Are you looking at getting into the cigar blending? Is there any backstories we don't know?
Yeah. It's some people know that we're winding down the Cigar Prop manufacturing side. At one time we probably had 25, 30 different products. And it was just getting to be too much. So we're really going to, scale that back, maybe have 3 core products. That's it. Maybe 4, and then makes it easier to get them made. I don't have a ton of inventory on shelf. We really have been concentrating for the last, year on our social media side, just building the social media, building, that empire, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we have been talking with manufacturers. We do have some collaborations in the works. You will see at least 2 Cigar Prop collaborations this year, if not 3, and then maybe quite a few more next year. I'm not a blender. I don't ever want to sell cigars. I'm not a brand owner. I'm not a retailer, but I have a decent palate, I think, even though, I mean, it's kind of a joke that I have a bad palate. I smoke what I want, but I actually have a pretty good palate when it comes to cigars. But there are things that have never been done in the cigar industry, and I've always wondered why. Like, why can't we do this? Why can't you use this tobacco in this fashion? Well, it wouldn't be right. It wouldn't taste right. I'm like, well, that's just a dumb answer.
You're like, so, I want to know firsthand. I got to experience it.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the cigars, that will be out this year, and that's the only teaser you'll get. But and then the manufacturer just said, actually, I had two manufacturers told me it was dumb and they wouldn't even consider it. It just shooed me away, And these are manufacturer friends of mine. So I'm like, all right, they're really not interested. So I'm sitting around one day. I'm like, I got to get this done. So I was at my humidor and I'm like, this is the guy that should have done it to begin with. I haven't talked to him in like 6 months, and I kicked myself in the ass. Called him up and he said it's dumb. And he goes, but I'm intrigued. And so we had some samples made. I sent a few of them out to some people in the industry that I trust, and they all said there's no way that's going to taste good. And they got it, and they're like, holy crap, how did you do that? And I'm like, well, I didn't. I just had an idea, and I knew what I wanted. So we've got a few things like that are out there. People just said it can't be done. So we're working on one now that we've been working on for a year because they couldn't figure out how to do it.
Oh, wow.
And it's just one of those engineering things. It's like you try it and it fails. You don't give up, but you put it on the back burner, and then you get some free time, and then it's like, all right, let's come back to this project. We know it can be done because nothing's physically impossible to do, and then it fails, and you don't do it, so you put it on the back burner again, and then eventually it was like it clicked, and it's like, that's it.
You sound like the mind of Frankenstein right now, by the way. Just so you know, you're trying to force stuff together that people would normally never do. And I'll tell you, I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, and getting it to work, because anybody can create a cigar, slap a story on it, and sell them. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love a great story. I buy cigars that, it's a limited run. And so we do have some limited runs coming out that's got a great story, and it's something cool, and you either get a unique piece of swag with it, or, it's a one-off. It's going to be this with this maker, and then it's never going to be done again. So I love doing those. But a lot of the things I want to do is just thinking outside the box, really, talking with Jonathan Drew, and just the rebirth of cigars. People told him, the wacky tobacco guy, was never going to be big in this industry because nobody wanted these, fruity cigars, they called them, and he changed the industry, and then when, at the height of his popularity in his career, he's like, all right, we're going to make the best, cigar ever, and we're going to call it the Liga Privada T52, and it's going to be hands down a super premium cigar. People told him, well, you can't do that. You only know how to do flavored stuff or infused stuff. Then he came out with the T52, the 9, the Undercrown, and so every time someone told him it couldn't be done, he just figured it out. And that's really the way we think, and and he's always told me, question everything. Just don't let people tell you no. So many people say it can't be done, and then they just give up on an idea.
Right.
And that sucks, but and then it's just I don't know. It just, people get crestfallen, and I just try and tell them, just keep going. Somebody will make it. Somebody will make that. And it doesn't have to be a cigar. It can be whatever you're crafting, whatever you're making, manufacturing, producing. There's somebody out there that can make it.
Let me tell you something that I did when I was probably 21. I created, because I've always been an entrepreneur, inventor type person, and I created And I sketched it out, figured out how it would work, and then I actually made one myself. But I took like clear PVC pipe, but it's not PVC. It was actually like a very thin gauge acrylic.
Yeah.
And I took my fire pit and I used that fire and I molded that PVC pipe into a oval, and I connected it, and then I connected a hair dryer to it, and I made a slot car racing track, but it was all inside of a tube, and I put little lights on the car, so when you turned out the lights, it looked really cool. But you know what that is now is it's the same technology they're using for Hyperloop out in California.
Yes, you're right.
And I was watching a documentary on the Hyperloop, and I was like, holy crap, that's exactly what I did whenever I built that race car track.
Exactly. Sometimes we're just ahead of our times, and like you said, I've always been an entrepreneur myself. Jessica and I, just the other day, we were talking about business in high school, and because we got kids in school. And I remember I said my favorite class was business management and law. I did really, really good in business management. And then one of our projects is we had to invent a product. We kind of had to market it. We had to do drawings and everything else, and then present it to the class. And the teacher would say whether it was a viable product or not. So we invented and I was back then, like the Bulls, really, really huge, the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan. So it was like one of the things was like a hat that had the shape of a bull, and then it had the horns, and it really wasn't a thing out, like that. Like today, that's all you ever see. So I knew a guy that was good at graphic design, so I paid him to do this beautiful sketch and this drawing. We had a business plan, and I remember in school presenting it. People's like, "Well, he cheated. He paid somebody to do all of his drawings." And help him with his business plan, because the guy was a business guy as well. And the teacher's like, no,
he outsourced.
That's business. I said, there are very few companies that have in-house graphic design people. So when you want something done, you hire the people that best get that project done. It's like, you're not going to produce this yourself. You're going to hire a company to make it. You're going to hire a company to promote it. And then we aced it. And I've always, not always, but lately, like that's the thing. It's come back to then, even when we won Battle of the Bands with Smoke In, because of the way I promoted it, I was called a cheater by a lot of people. Kevin's cheating. Kevin's not doing it right. Kevin's a goddamn businessman is what he is.
You got to think outside the box, one. But outsourcing is, if you can master outsourcing, you can be successful at anything.
Yeah.
That's a big, I would love to be able to do more outsourcing. I do a handful of it, but for the majority, I do everything myself. And the more you do yourself, the more it runs you ragged. You know that. So, when you can learn how to outsource stuff that it either is too time consuming to take up your time doing what you need to do, or versus it's just something that someone else can do better than you, then it's a home run for you.
Yeah, something that they can do better than you, faster than you, and cheaper than you. So we started off making products myself in my garage. I can only make so many at a time, but I'm lucky enough that I have the equipment to make a prototype, and perfect it. And then, like with everything else, I take it to a machine shop, and I'm like, this is what I'm interested in doing. We just switched machine shops now for a lot of our products, and they make them for me. I'm not going to sit there and make 1,000 lighter bleed tools at a time. It's not cheating. I found a company that makes them.
You're not a machine shop.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not a graphic design business. I outsource all my graphic design work.
Right.
For everything. I have a vision in my head, and then you outsource it.
And the thing about it is, when you outsource, it's still your product because you put the stamp of approval on what you're going to use and what you're not. Because how many times have you sent something to a graphic shop and been like, man, that is so far off the mark, I'm not using that. I remember our first logo for Cigar Talk. When he sent it to me, I was like, no, that is horrible. I'm not using that. I said, first of all, instead of cigars, it looks like cigarettes.
Yeah.
And so I completely get what you're saying. You outsource, but when you give your final stamp of approval on it, that means someone created something to match what your idea was. And so it's still yours.
Exactly. And then I don't know, because unless it's a very well kept secret, in the industry, I'm a big proponent of focus groups. I do a lot of focus groups when I'm doing a new design for a logo or a label or whatever. I'll get a group of guys, 8, 10, 12 guys, and we'll focus group it. I'll throw up an idea. People, luckily I have some guys that are good with Photoshop. They'll throw up an idea, and then I'll send that to a graphics guy, that does it for a living. He'll come back, and then, okay, I'll throw it up in the group. All right, this is what he came back with. Let's do this. And, or what can we do with this? Does everybody like it? People have changes. And then I'll get an idea, and I'm like, okay, so we've got a pretty good final product. And then I bring in another group of guys, completely different, so another group of 10 guys. And then it's like, all right, guys, here's what I'm working on. This is what we've started with, because by the first time, after a couple of weeks, people were burned out. They're tired of thinking about it. They some people will just say it's great just to be done with the group. So I'll bring in another 10 guys, 12 guys. And then we'll work on it that way. And usually by the second group, you've really narrowed down and you've perfected, your idea. We did that with our lighter bleed tool. I really didn't know what I wanted. I kind of knew what I wanted, so we did a Kickstarter, and which ungodly, amount of people that bought it. But during that 30-day Kickstarter, I had so many ideas. People said, we love it. We sold hundreds. I think we ended up selling 1,000 of them, to be honest with you, in 30 days. But everybody's like, hey, could you do this? I'd like to see this. If you're ever going to do another one. So before that 30 days was up, we already had version 2 in our hand.
Wow.
From the machine shop, ready to go. So we sent out all of the first run to all the supporters. And I had already ordered a second run of the version 1 and a first run of the version 2. And of course, like everything else, I had to wait a couple months because I can't come out a week later saying, hey, I got a new product, buy that.
Right.
So 3 months later, I came back out. Hey, I took everybody's advice. We have version 2. Sold like another 1,000 of them, so everybody's like, yes. So then we've been listening over the last 2 years of what people wanted, so we're by the end of this year, we'll have version 3, released.
And I like that approach because I do that with the show itself. Is I have a group that I rely on. They're my producers, and we get together once a month, have a conference Zoom, and talk about the show, talk about what they like, the direction of some of the things they don't like, and because it gives you good feedback as a creator to say, everything doesn't work. So if you look at Cigar Talk from the beginning to now, it's night and day from what it was when we started. And, there's been times where we've kind of gone off on this direction, and it turns out that direction wasn't good for the show. So we came back a different direction. So I'm always listening to those people, and I value them so much, man. They are the backbone behind Cigar Talk because it's that real honest feedback that you want from people.
Yeah, we did the same thing with our show. We asked people what they liked, what they didn't like. So when we came back from winter break, at so we took about 4 weeks off at the last 2 weeks of last year, first 2 weeks of this year, and we revamped the format of the show. We just simplified it a little bit, got rid of some of the segments. We really concentrate more on the guest, and so we just listen to people instead of doing what we want. We do try and listen.
So earlier, before we go, I wanted to ask you, you said I could throw you softball questions, hardball questions. This is kind of a hardball question.
Yeah.
I heard that you like to talk shit about other people's wives that are in the industry.
Did you listen to that?
I did not listen. I did not. I'm all I saw was stuff on social media. And I was like, man, Kevin, that guy's a jerk.
So I'll give you the skinny, and it really wasn't,
because here's the thing. I never saw anything from you about this. I only saw from someone else. So I thought, you know what? I know there's two sides to every story.
Yes. So I was asked why I was so successful in my social media presence. And then I said, it's because people can relate to me. And that's not my opinion. That's what we've heard hundreds and thousands of times. Every time we go to an event, these husband and wives come up to Jessica and I, the wives that don't smoke cigars, but go to the events with their husbands. And they're like, oh my God, thank you for calling Kevin out. And then, and calling him a piece of crap when he's a piece of crap. I love listening to you guys. You're fun. People can relate. And that's what I said, people know who Jessica is. People know my kids' names. People know my dog's name is Stella. She's a pit bull rescue. People are, they have a vested interest in our life because, they feel like they're friends, that they know us. So I said, to the two hosts, I go, let me guys ask you a question. Does anybody know what Coop's wife's name was? And they said no. And I go, that's because he keeps his, and there's a lot of guys out there, not just Coop. So many of the guys keep their work life, the cigar industry, separate from their private life. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Some guys just don't want, and some ladies, they don't want everybody knowing everything about their lives. They don't want people to know their kids' names, their spouses' names.
And I totally get that. And I'll tell you, when I got into it, because I'm very transparent like you are. I talk about my wife, my kids, my dog, everything. But I'll tell you this, my wife has said to me, are you sure it's a good idea that you keep giving out our home address?
Your wife would love Jessica. She says that too. I go, well, first of all, I'm a corporation. So it is public knowledge. You can find our information. We did have one guy show up at the house here that he lives in town. He saw me on TikTok. He came, just stopped by to say hi. He wasn't creepy. I gave him some cigars. So that's all that came from. And it wasn't anything bad. And I just said, he keeps his personal life personal and he keeps his professional life professional, just like a lot of people do. I keep my life open. And I think that's why I'm so successful is people can relate to me. Not that they can't relate to anybody else.
Right.
I don't want anybody thinking about that.
But your style is open and transparent, and that's not everyone's style, and it doesn't have to be. If everybody was the same, then why choose different shows? So I just read a little bit about it. I don't really get into reading a lot on Facebook, but I did happen to stumble across that, and I was like, "Oh, Kevin, he's a jerk."
Yeah, I've put my foot in my mouth more times than I wish I had. Because I kind of just say what I want, whether it's always the right thing to say at the right time. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it is, but that's just me. I think most people understand that, it's like, it's just Kevin saying something dumb again.
All of my listeners can relate. Because I put my foot in my mouth all the time. And you know what? That's just me, though. I mean, because I say whatever comes into my mind. I don't have a filter. Whatever comes into my mind, that's what's coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, exactly. And if there's content creators out there, and we mentor quite a few content creators, and that's one thing that they always seem to struggle with. It's like, do I bring my private life into the social media? And I always tell myself, well, that's something that you have to decide. I said, look at all the other cigar bloggers, vloggers, everybody out there, who do you gravitate towards? Are you, like my boy Brad Reith, everybody knows everything about his family. It's like his daughter, his wife, his parents, his life is an open book. And then there's other cigar bloggers out there that their life is a closed book. But their followers are okay with that. They don't want to know, what somebody does for a day job. Like my great buddy Craig Vanderslice, Cigar Craig. I've known him more than
Cigar Craig is
anybody
great.
Else.
Cigar Craig was one of the very first people that supported Cigar Talk in helping me grow. Yeah. Great guy. And yeah, he's long-term standard guy in the business. I mean, he puts out quality content. I'm a fan.
Exactly. And then a lot of people don't know what his kids' names are.
Right.
Everybody knows his dog, but that's fine. His listeners or watchers, followers, they really don't want, they don't care if he divulges a lot of, the industry, or his personal secrets, life, whatever, and to each his own. But I always tell everybody there wouldn't be a Cigar Prop without Craig Vanderslice. I said the first words in the first chapter of a book that I'll write someday are going to be, and then I found a guy named Craig. He has been instrumental, and I tell everybody there would not be a Cigar Prop without Craig Vanderslice.
That's awesome.
He has been my chief cheerleader. He has gotten me more interviews, being able to drop his name. And I always tell him because I always say, I got to repay you someday because you've created this empire. And I said, just one day, I want you to be able to use my name. Like, I want you to be able to go somewhere and they don't know you. And then I want you to be able to say, hey, Kevin from Cigar Prop says hi. And they're like, oh my God, Kevin. And I want that to be an in for him. And it's never going to happen because everybody on the planet knows Craig. But I'm like, that would be like the culmination of my career is for Craig. Because like I said, so many times, first time I met Saka and I go, hey, my buddy Craig told me to come down and see when he was at a local lounge. He goes, oh my God, Craig. And then that opened that up.
Sure.
And then that got me, in there. So maybe one day Craig can use my name. You
never know. Craig might be able to use your name and get one of your special blend cigars that nobody knows about.
He's been my chief tester.
Well, of course he has. Well, hey man, that's going to wrap it up, dude. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us and, introduce yourself to our audience and tell everybody where they can find you so they can come check out your show.
I am Cigar Prop on every single social media platform known to exist. I'm lucky enough I got the name early on, so Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn. It is just Cigar Prop. You can find us. We do a live show every Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And
now, where do you broadcast your live show? Is that on Instagram is that on Facebook or YouTube?
We broadcast on YouTube, the Cigar Prop Facebook page, the I'd Tap That Cigar Club Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, and we broadcast on Twitch as well. We were doing Periscope, but since Twitter bought Periscope and shut that down, we're no longer on Periscope since it doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
So hopefully shortly we'll be broadcasting on LinkedIn as well. But yeah, generally for all of our reviews and our live show, if you just go to the Cigar Prop YouTube channel,
that's where I see all your stuff is YouTube, and you're doing a great job on there, man. Hats off to you, bro.
Thank you very much. And then we just started the Broadleaf Bullies, which we've been doing that we're on episode like 15 now. So and that's me and Jessica, then our good friends Care and Jennifer from Stogie Road Cigars. So we do every Sunday night we do a show. We film a show, and then I put that on the Broadleaf Bullies YouTube channel. They have a whole separate YouTube channel. So I handle the video side of it, and then Care puts that out on all the podcasting sites. So
okay.
You can find the Broadleaf Bullies on all the podcasting platforms, and that's just four friends sitting around talking about everything. It's not a cigar show. We do talk about, since there's three cigar smokers. Jen doesn't smoke cigars; she's a coffee girl. So sometimes we talk about cigars, sometimes coffee, but we talk about our life, our kids, our pets. What's irritating us in the world. A little bit of politics, a little bit of religion. But it's really just four friends meeting at a virtual lounge and just talking for 2 hours.
Awesome, man.
Once a week. So
well, I haven't caught that yet, so I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, super fun. Hopefully coming up in season 3, We do about 12 episodes per season. We're going to start inviting some guest husband and wives because that's always going to be. So we'll, if your wife does video, audio, maybe we'll have, but it's just, and basically what it is, it's just 2 hours of the girls telling us about ourselves. It's like what pissed them off this week. So Karen and I thought it would be a good idea to bring on another husband and wife. So we kind of get backed off a little bit. So,
well, see, my wife doesn't do any of that, but Bryant, I don't know if you know my co-host, but Bryant's kind of like my wife also.
Okay.
Well, hey, man, thanks again for coming and hanging out with us. It was great having you on the show, and we'll have to do it again, bro.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. I had an absolute blast.
All right, man. Well, take care and keep smoking, brother.
Oh, you too, man.
Hey, guys, welcome back. I was telling you before that I went to Lubbock and me and Tim went out and smoked. So since the cigar shop was closed, it was very fortunate that I had a box of cigars with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
you
sir.
never leave home and just count on a cigar shop being open.
Never.
And because exactly what happened, I got there after they closed. I didn't know what time they closed. I hadn't checked, but I didn't think it would be 6. But I had plenty of cigars, and Tim showed up, and he had some cigars. So we were set, and it was like, where do you want to go smoke? And I was like, hey, well, we're staying at the Hilton Garden.
Uh-huh.
They got a great patio.
Yes, they do.
And we've hung out there before and had cigars and bourbon. But this is June.
Hot.
It was very hot.
Dry, hot.
Very hot. And so anyway, we were like, well, let's go to the Gaslight, which is a nice lounge for cigars.
Okay.
They don't sell cigars, but they sell good whiskey.
Okay. So, and they're allowed to smoke right in
anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we've been there many times. And the cool thing is it sits next to like this man-made lake that's probably, 15 acres.
Okay.
But they got a nice deck out behind where you can go sit out there over the water.
And watch out for the land sharks.
So we go in, and when you go in, my favorite place to sit is immediately to your left. It's like nice lounge chairs and then a table. A coffee table. But all the other tables and chairs are like round tables with chairs. Uh-huh. Some of them are tall, some of them are short, some of them are square, some of them are round. I don't like the chairs.
You want those.
I want those where you sit back into the cushion. So anyway, but I was like, you know what? I do like smoking out on the patio over the water. And so the waitress starts walking us back there. And I'm like, oh, let's sit over there at that table. So she starts walking us over there. And Tim says, I'm not sitting out here. It's hot.
Tim, as you know, I'm smart today. I'm not sitting out here.
Tim had worked on his car.
I've been out in this heat all day long. I'm not going to sit out there and chill with you. Nah, bro. Air conditioning.
He said, let's go back in the AC. I was like,
good.
All right. So then we go in. And we sit down. Well, first I walk over to the bar and I'm like, hey man, what good bourbons do you have? And he's like, check out the menu. And I was like, okay.
The menu?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I go, well, do you have one? He goes, go down and sit on the table and the waitress will bring you a menu. And I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So we go sit down and like, when you see a professional waitress, like, she's cool, but she is business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
wrong with you.
Right. So she walks over and she's like, what can I get you? And I said, well, we want to know about the bourbons. Can we get a menu? And she goes, well, the bourbons aren't on the menu.
Then why did he tell me that?
And she said, and I said, really? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, I went to see the bartender and he said, when I asked him about the bourbons, to go sit down at a table and the waitress would show me the fucking menu.
Wow.
And she goes, What?
I'm sorry.
Tim starts laughing.
Yeah, 'cause he
and
knows
she's
you-
like, no, he didn't. And I'm like, yeah, I was insulted.
Go sit your ass down. She'll be over
That's
there.
how you mess with the professional waitress right out the gate.
Because
But you know
that's
what? But then she never took another bite of any BS.
No,
it was
from
like,
you.
nope, we're not.
I know you.
Right.
I know you now.
So
So that's truly a professional.
So we weren't able to sit in our chairs because people were already sitting there.
You had attitude, didn't you?
Well, you know what? I went by and talked to the people. No. I recognized one of them from the cigar shop.
Okay.
But the only reason I went over there is because I was trying to feel them out for how long they were going to be here.
Hey, you gonna get up soon? Do you need to get up soon?
Your wife
wanna
know
be
where
coaxed?
you are.
So you were gonna snitch on them? Wow.
Hey, so anyway, and there was two
don't
guys
let
I
Rob
didn't know.
where you are.
So we go sit at the regular table, and we're having a good time. We're shooting the breeze. We're smoking good cigars, and we started off with a bullet double. That's pretty good bourbon.
Yeah.
It's not something I go on to look out for. But then I asked her, I said, she goes that she was really into rye, our waitress. And I was like, I'm not really big on rye, but I really do like that Basil Hayden dark rye. And she's like, oh, we have that. And I was like, yeah, I'll take a double of that.
I'll go ahead and get
Tim-
that on order now.
Tim stayed with the bullet.
He did?
Yeah, he doesn't like rye.
He didn't
And-
even try it?
I let him try mine before I even took a sip.
And
I
he
said, at
said-
least take a drink of it and see what you think.
And he still
and
didn't
he
like
was
it?
like, nah, man, just something about that. He goes, I think I'm allergic to rye. That's probably not true.
But that was his excuse that night.
He was like, it makes my throat tickle. Yeah. So, but anyway,
come on, Tim.
so we're sitting there talking, having a good time. And, like, every so often I'm like looking over there, is like, man, are those guys going to leave? That's where I want to be sitting. So I told Tim, I said, look, there's two chairs that two guys are sitting facing each other. And then in the middle is like a love seat. And I said, I'll tell you what, why don't we go and I'll pull up a chair and then you just squeeze in with that dude. And I said, they'll leave within 5 minutes.
'Cause it's very inappropriate. You're crowding my space.
Tim was not up for that.
What?
You're right. I was like,
Come on,
where's
Tim.
your will?
Yeah. Where's your
So,
butthole?
so then I came up with another plan. I was like, how about you come back in and say, hey, man, someone's out there vandalizing your car. And when they run out, we sit down.
When they come back moving meat, you lose your seat.
Tim was not down for that either.
Yeah.
So anyway,
He needed to drink some rye.
Yeah.
He'd have been down for
so
it then.
30 more minutes, they leave. We got the seats, and I was in heaven. That was where,
You're supposed to be.
oh,
You're supposed to.
it was like, I told Tim they should take out all the tables and chairs they have and put in all
Put
lounge
on
seating.
lounge seating, and everybody will not leave, and then I'll be mad at her.
Well, and they had another section like that, but over here, but instead of the comfortable furniture, it was like a wooden bench with cowhide on it, and then two wooden rocking chairs.
Yeah,
It
you
was
were you were in Lubbock.
yeah.
Cowhide.
So that's exactly right. I was like,
Wow.
and I told the waitress, I was like, do you know people would probably sit there if y'all got that crappy furniture
For
out
real,
of here?
especially that cowhide.
Not comfortable.
Move on. We,
Little doggy.
no, dude,
So, hey, well, enough about my weekend.
your extravaganza.
All I can tell you is we had a great time. It was great catching up with Tim
Gotcha.
over cigars and bourbon.
Extra time.
Yeah, good time.
Extra
so,
time.
anyway, so you got a little 5 and dime for us.
Oh yeah, 5 and dime. That's perfect.
5 and dime, baby.
Five for under 10.
5 for under
Perfect
10.
gifts, because this show's about what? Giving. Number one, we're going to talk about the Arturo Fuente Hemingway short story. $7.35.
And it's a great stick.
Yes. Dominican Republic, Cameroon wrapped. Man, you talking about spices, wood, almond. Full.
And the thing about it is, when you're getting something from Arturo,
Talk about it.
I mean, it's kind of like when you're getting any kind of bourbon from Evan Williams
Talk
or
about it.
Heaven Hill.
Talk
or,
about it.
Any of those great names, they know what they're doing. They're not making bad cigars.
No, sir.
You know what I
No,
mean?
sir. Number two,
And wait, we're not done there.
Okay. He wants to go back to that one.
Thinking about a new guy, especially, or I wouldn't say a new cigar smoker, but a guy that's into exploring his palate.
Okay.
That's a great stick.
Yeah, because he's going to get the flavors you get from this stick will open up your palate to understand that it's not all what you started with, like with you.
Right.
There are different tastes, there are different profiles. You will get something different from everyone. And this is, like you said, it's perfect.
That is a great cigar to test your palate.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And understand,
And if you're not getting everything at first, come back to it. I mean,
revisit.
Revisit.
Revisit,
Dude,
baby.
do you know how many great cigars I've found on revisiting?
Oh, yeah. We find it out daily with you.
Boom.
I just tried that again, and it was great. The first one wasn't real. Number 2, Nazico Casino Real Double Toro, $5.79.
Whoa. Back up. Say the whole thing again.
Nazico Casino Real Double Toro.
Nazico makes good sticks. And their price points, and I'm not trying to raise prices, but they are selling their cigars at least 30% cheaper than they should be.
Yeah. For what you get from their sticks.
At least 30.
Yeah.
They could double some of the prices on those
Don't
cigars.
listen to Rob right now.
But I'm just saying, that's how good the cigar
the value of it is there, yes. But we love that this stick is $5.79.
I have no complaints.
None. Because your favorite profile could be around $10, $11 on that. But what you're giving us at $5.79, I'm not going to complain at all. And I know Rob isn't either, because we are working men. I'm looking at you.
Did I tell you how much this DBL was?
No.
$8.
Under 10.
But right now, I'm kind of at a loss. It's not that it's not. I mean, everything that I love, construction, burn,
all
the
of that is
draw,
still
all of it's there. It's just I'm not getting a lot of flavor out of it.
Impasse.
It's like, but you can tell it's quality tobacco because, you know, when it's bad quality, it's like, that sucks. But it's like right now, but, you know, I've been, you know, I had COVID and my flavor profile has still not come back to its peak.
Gotcha.
So, you know, I still can't smell. I mean, when I do a retrohale, it's more I can taste
more than smell.
Than I smell it. Yeah. But what's weird is, like, I get like a whiff of something, and when I toast cigars, I get a little whiff of that, and it smells amazing.
So you appreciate that more now.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's like, oh, wow.
oh, got to change my drawers.
Yeah.
Number 3 on the list. Romeo and Julieta. Reserva Real Porto Real.
Okay, and we talked about this before the show when he was doing his list, telling me what it was, and I'm going to tell you something. I tried to be a cigar snob before I should even have been a cigar snob. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I thought I knew, and I didn't know crap.
No, none of us did.
And so here's the thing about the Romeo and Julieta. I am going to start smoking a few of their sticks and seeing if maybe I missed something because I, in my head, wrote them off as a big corporation that doesn't make good cigars.
And you didn't know.
And
because you may find that diamond in the rough.
Right. I may stand by that, but if you don't give them a chance,
you don't have nothing to base it on.
Right. What if I miss out on something spectacular? You see what I'm saying?
We'll see. And this one was $8.81.
Okay.
Number 4, we've smoked this one. The Alec and Bradley Kentsugi Corona Gordo.
I would have to smoke that again.
$7.25.
Because I don't remember that much. I mean, I remember the blue label with the gold Nitsu.
Yeah. Kentsugi.
No, it's Nitsu.
It's KINTSUGI.
Nitsu. You can spell it a million ways, and it says Nitsu.
Lubbockian. He's going back to Lubbock. He went for the weekend. He's stuck.
Hey, so how much is the price point on that?
$7.25.
That's a great list.
Yes. Last one. we've smoked also. The Oliva Series V Double Robusto, $9.10.
Great cigar.
Yes.
Dude, that's also a super value cigar because
Come on with it.
that
Come
could
on.
be easily a $12 to $14 cigar.
Every day. And if you're in California, it probably is $12 to $14.
20. Junior.
Yeah, man. I talked to my brother this week.
How
man.
is he?
He's making it, man. He said,
Dude, he is so busy.
he's
I
like-
talked to him a couple of weeks
he
ago.
said he goes to work, comes home, takes a shower, plays with his kid, go to sleep, go to work.
At like 4 in the morning.
Yes. Because he has to beat that traffic
Well,
in California.
he's working his job,
And,
but then
the-
he's also running his own business
Yeah.
after.
He is that true dude that has his hand in 97 things, but he's mastering them.
Dude, and I'll tell you what's impressive to me is how busy he is, but he still makes time to do fun, badass
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yes.
whether you see him on the beach.
Jet skiing,
golfing.
golfing,
Yeah.
just doing everything.
Yeah. it's
Riding
like-
his motorcycle and falling and skinning himself up.
But he-
I'm like, dude, come on.
But he isn't letting life
No.
pass him by.
And at that age, because he's younger than us, he's still in his 30s. He just got in his 30s, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he's enjoying a middle-aged man's life at that age.
Right.
He's doing it all. And
And he does it the right way.
with his family.
Yeah.
With his family. And I just sit back and I'm like, dude, I wished I had your mindset when I was in my 30s. I really do, man. I really do.
I wish I had his energy.
Shoot. Yeah, 'cause
If there was a way that we could steal his soul
siphon that energy part out of there.
and then put it back.
Put that soul back, but we got the energy and become billionaires. It's like, where did this drink come from? Nowhere. Don't look at him. Don't look at him.
Yeah, Junior is a one of a kind.
He is still a great friend of the show, of both of us, man.
You know he's a lot of up crew guy now.
Yes, yes.
And let's see. Yeah, I gotta send him a bunch of shit.
You know he waiting on it. You know he waiting on it. And as soon as he get it, he gonna put it everywhere. It's gonna be on Facebook, Instagram, shoot, what else? Snapchat. Anything that's out there, he gonna put it out there.
So let's go back to a minute because I told you that what's his name? Jax was giving me shit because I was knocking on people. But take a picture. Look at that picture. Take the phone. What do you think that cigar is sitting on? I pulled over on the side of the highway.
That's a house shoe.
Boom, dude, you are good.
I noticed. I recognize the soul, and that's a house shoe. He put his cigar. Look, he put his cigar on a house shoe.
I was like, nobody will know what this
That's
is.
a house shoe.
Yeah. So the question is, why would you have a house shoe while you're on the road? Just happen to be in the car.
Yeah, right.
Hey, look at this one.
It's sitting on the dashboard. He got an ashtray sitting on the dashboard.
That's the big ashtray.
Oh my God. This is my buddy Rob.
Hey, man.
You never know what's going to happen with him, man. Never.
Like, got to do what you got to do,
Never.
bro.
Leave a cigar a show in Fort Worth at 1 o'clock in the morning and go close down a Waffle House. Me, you, and Junior.
That was awesome.
Oh man,
I love the Waffle House. I'm a
you
big
ain't the
fan.
only one. If they had a Waffle House and a White Castle here in Abilene, I'd weigh 9,000 pounds. Where's Brian? Well, if you go down on South First, check the Waffle House, then go across the street.
If they were just back to back, I'm not a White House fan.
White Castle.
White Castle fan. White House either. You can have both of them.
Any one of those domiciles that's white, no.
Yeah. No,
But man, it's good. It's.
I get it. It's nostalgia.
Oh, dude,
You know what?
you wasn't raised on it.
Let me tell you something.
I'm gonna leave it alone.
In the very near future, I'm going to have you come over and I'm going to make smash burgers for you. And I'm going to use
You make it for everybody.
I'm going to make
me.
Here's the thing though. I've been using Mac Daddy's original recipe seasonings. And dude, I made freaking fajitas tonight. Did you get to eat, Luke? No. Well, they're in there. Okay.
He said, I'm going to get them afterwards.
Dude, night and day, all of a sudden, because of him or his seasonings, I can cook.
He's become a chef.
I don't cook, dude. Do you know how often I'm cooking like 4 days a week?
Wow.
And his seasoning makes all the difference.
I got to give me some.
But, dude, let me cook smash burgers for you. I knocked them out of the park. I put the seasoning in the meat.
Yes.
Then I had Velveeta
The only cheese.
jalapeno cheese.
The only cheese.
Then I grilled the onions in the meat, and I grilled jalapenos to put on top.
Yeah.
Dude, like,
yeah.
it was like there was a man inside me with a pump just pumping that cholesterol into my arteries.
And your body was like, we don't care.
It was like, take it like a man.
It tastes so good.
It was awesome. I showed one of my coworkers a picture of one of my smash burgers. And I've showed the picture to several people, and they're like, dude, that looks good.
That's a burger.
You know what my coworker said? Dude, your arteries hate you. And I was like,
no. They're just like everything else. They love to hate me.
Right.
They love to hate me.
Feels good.
I know it's not good for me, but that feels so good.
Do you think about those things?
No.
Thank you. I don't either.
No.
I say we got one life to live. I'm living it.
Live it every day. He enjoyed his life.
If I go out, I'm going to go out having enjoyed.
Nothing to complain about.
Exactly.
Nothing to complain about. When I meet St. Peter, I'll be like, hey. He's going to be like looking at the list. Whew, boy, you skirted the list a few times here. I'm like, but I live my life. I enjoyed it.
Does just dipping the toe in
count?
I mean,
I didn't go all the way.
My big toe.
It got there. Well, we'll let that go to hell. You be 9 toes in heaven.
Yes.
9 toes in heaven.
Who was it? John the Baptist, grab an axe. So anyway, hey guys, look down in the show notes also for the Mac Daddy's original special seasonings, because dude's making me a believer. I'm not a believer because
making him a chef.
You know what I always tried before?
What's that?
Montreal.
It's
a brand of seasonings.
No, bro, we use Lawry's. Seasoned salt.
Okay, but I'm just saying Mac Daddy's
cayenne pepper.
I don't know what is in his seasoning,
but it's good.
Hey, ask Luke. Luke's had several burgers with the seasoning.
He's just shaking his head real fast. Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, check on the show notes and check out Mac Daddy's original seasoning.
Talk about it.
And then we want to say thank you to all our Patreon members. You guys help make the show possible every freaking week. And if you're not already on the Discord, come by, join the Cigar Talk Discord. We'll have the link in the show notes to join
at your own risk.
That is what, we call it the Cigar Talk Circus.
Because that's what it is.
It's today I said it's almost more like a traveling carnival.
No, it's a freak show.
Well, isn't that what the traveling carnival is?
Yeah, it's a freak show.
So, anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this week's show. And until next time,
keep smoking.